What's up? So, really quick, I don't know if we're going to have a show tonight because we can't find Kennedy. I think that she is stuck in the airport somewhere, y'all. And so, I don't know. I'm going to give her time. We haven't heard from her all day. She hasn't answered the link and she hasn't responded. I do know that she was flying back from somewhere, but she hasn't said anything. And so, I don't want to rush her because she has a story that she wants to tell. And so I'm going to give her a couple of minutes. So, hey, y'all. Hey, Trent. The new Montel, no, Montel Williams. Y'all check out Trent's new show with Dominique on, well, I don't know if it's Wednesdays or Thursdays, but Beyond the Filter. So I don't know, y'all, because I have to, we typically don't like talking to people over 2 hours. But some people can go over 2 hours. And if you have a long story, then you might go over 2 hours. And I have to leave here at 9 in order to make it downtown for the show tonight. So I'm gonna give her a couple of minutes. I understand that some of y'all leave and whatever, but I don't want to but I can always reschedule her for next week because I don't have anything to do next week. Kind of is a schedule conflict because she was out of town. I'm working tonight at in Atlanta. Other than that, how's everybody's week? Happy Monday. We know we're on a different day today. Really quick, if you're in Atlanta tonight, nothing to do, come out to the Stars of the Century. I will be entertaining along with Scooby. With them, the show starts at 10:30. Building opens at 10. If you're in Atlanta again tomorrow, you can come check out the Big Girl Review Show, 90s era. So it's several big girls on the show. Myself, Ava, I think Gigi LaBelle, um, it's a bunch of us. And so just come out. It's at the Mix. That show is at 9 tomorrow. We have to do a 90s song. And so I'll be doing a 90s oldie but goodie. This Friday, if you're in Houston, Texas, or if you're traveling in Houston, Texas, I'll be on the red carpet, backstage, intertwining between the pageant, interviewing people, talking about the 40th anniversary of Miss Texas. Hi, Terrell Lynn. Shouts out to the icon. Happy birthday. 67, 6, something around there. However, whatever it is, it's a blessing to be. Um, and so we'll be doing that in Texas this weekend. Listen, the girl is booked and busy, and I don't know if I like it. Oh my goodness! But shout out to Columbia, South Carolina this weekend. The People's Court was there yesterday for the brunch show, and it was amazing, amazing time with Paris LaFerris out of Columbia and the Review. So if you're ever in Columbia on Sundays, go out and check that show out at 12:30 at the Review. Hit up Paris LaFerris if you are an entertainer and you want to travel over. She'll definitely get you in. Thank you again, Paris, for having me and Amaya as well as Rico. 67, y'all. 67 is a blessing. I hope to just reach there. I still got a little milestone to even get to it. But yes, you're older than my parents. So shout out to Diva, Miss Duval, former Miss Duval. That's my girlfriend, y'all. So I can't wait to see you when I give up the pageant in a couple of weeks. Speaking of giving up, y'all, Duval Plus is coming to an end. This year went by so fast, and I don't want to give it up, but I have to let a new doll in the dynasty. And so Rick called me this week and was like, we got to talk about some things. And I was like, what? And he was like, I need to know the name on the banner. So it's like surreal when you see your name on the banner. And then he was like, I need you, send me the picture you want on your plaque. That's like receiving your degree. Your Duval degree when you get the plaque. So yeah, we're working on things for that. So if you're in the area, Jacksonville, Florida, traveling in September 21, please come out and support the lovely girls that will be competing, as well as the current court and the formers. They will be all in the house. I know we have confirmed Valencia Santiago. We've confirmed Tamira Chevalier. We've confirmed Tanisha Iman. We've confirmed Denasia Bonet. We've confirmed DeRae Ciara Saunders celebrating her 20th, and Nikki Diamond Simone celebrating her 10th. So those are just the ones that confirm. I believe Armani's coming back. I believe Monica will be there if she can get off work. Prayers for former Miss Duval, Asheria Price. She is dealing with some things. So if you're able to go support her in any manner, whether it's visit her at the hospital, send her some money, or her benefit show that's coming up, please do that. Hey, Paris. Paris is on the line. We had a great time yesterday in Columbia. Other than that, I don't have any announcements. My co-host, of course, he's not going to be on tonight. He is the owner of Miss Texas, so he's doing some things. Um, but yeah, I don't know, y'all. I'm going to give her a couple more minutes if I don't hear anything because I haven't got any inbox. She hasn't been active, and I'm afraid she's either on a plate or delayed. And I don't want to rush her story, and I don't want to keep y'all long because I know y'all want to hear her story. So if I don't hear from her in the next 5 or 10 minutes, I'm going to get off. So what do y'all want to talk about? What's the question? What's the topic? What's the tea? I've given some announcements, so I don't know what else to talk about. Oh, that's really not good because I typically can hold conversation. Um, I made a post. When you level up, yes, happy birthday to Tara. When you level up, do you all feel that people organically just dwindle out of relationships, or do you really feel like there are people that are insecure because you have leveled up in a manner? I look at it both ways because sometimes I think that the person that has done the leveling up, they project. And is that rain? Oh, y'all, I don't drive in the rain. Okay. I feel like sometimes the person that has leveled up, they begin to project their insecurities on the people that may be behind them, meaning, oh, they can't take me. I done did this, I done did that. Da, da. So I feel like sometimes that happens because that's how they may have acted if the other parties has leveled up. You get what I'm saying? But I also do feel like those insecurities were already there. They didn't just happen when a person leveled up. Securities are already there. It may just take a certain thing, people, person to bring them out. Shouts out to the House of Jewel on the way to NBU. Diego and his show. I've never been on his show. I guess he had something against me, but that's totally fine. No, I'm just playing. So yeah, that was a conversation that I was having with some from friends today about that, how people really, but then I do also believe, because I've been in situations where there are things and people that I used to hang around when I was maybe in a certain space in life. And you just move on and you move on organically with no malice, nothing against anyone. So yeah. How do y'all feel about that? Tara, did you have a party? I know you had some cake and the cake looks so good. And y'all know they keep saying, weigh her, weigh her. So I be trying to eat a little bit to gain a little weight there, but all I do is go to the gym. So it's gonna come out. Weigh her, weigh her. We was in the dressing room and Maya was like, bitch, you need to just stop playing. I'm like, I think this is the problem. Y'all have to remember when I was Miss Black America, when I was all those things years ago, you have to remember I was 390, 410 pounds. So when you lose a lot of weight, y'all think, oh, she's in the 100s, but I'm really not. I'm still big. It's just I'm smaller. So yeah, keep that in mind when y'all be saying she doesn't look plus. No, I'm still plus. I'm still well in the 200s. There's Kennedy. Shouts out to Miss Punk News Network. She will be sponsoring $100 to the best dress. All right, we're going to bring on our guest for the hour. There she is. There's the legend.
Hey, I was like, calm down, Mary. I'm here.
Okay, Mary. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Okay, see if I can sit up right
How
here.
was your weekend? I know you have been all over the country.
Oh my God, I was in Vegas. It was good. It felt good to be back in Vegas. I was booked, and then I hosted the Sin City preliminary last night.
Oh, that was you on the microphone. We didn't know who it was.
Yeah, me being crazy.
Yes, that was you.
You know,
So
I got no sense.
I want to say thank you for giving us this opportunity to talk to you. We know we can't get your full life story in the hour and a half, 2 hours that we have, but if we can get nuggets, if we can learn a little bit about you, if you can give us a glimpse into the world that we may not see, we've done our part. So finally we got you. You know, you are all over the place. You are competing. You are getting ready to compete. You are booked and busy. You're taking care of family. So thank you for giving us this time, Kennedy.
Of course, I wanted to do this.
Yes.
Every time
Let
I
me
see
ask
you, I was like, "Come on, girl. When am I gonna do it? Wait on you."
When you hear legendary and you hear your name, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? What do you think of when you hear the legendary Kennedy Davenport?
Oh wow. I think it's a humbled feeling because after so many years, I do feel like I am legendary because of the contributions and the work that I put into the industry. Um, but it's humbling because I don't even think about it like that. I
Mhm.
mean, I accept what my community calls me because I work hard.
Right.
And for a long time, I didn't even pat myself on the back. You know what I'm saying? I didn't give myself those type of kudos. But after so long of working hard and putting the time in, you like, I am, and yeah, thank you. I humbly accept that. But it also comes with a challenge to continue to invest in your career, continue to pour back into your community, and that itself can be kind of draining. But because you love what you do and because you're passionate about what you do, it just comes natural.
I heard you say that you didn't pat yourself on the back and you didn't accept that. Why is that?
Because I've always been the type of person um, that just loved what I do, and I didn't really think about it. I love to entertain. I loved being the face of the people, like being in people's area. I love going out to the clubs and socializing and things like that. And ultimately, I just loved being on stage and performing. And I never really like got into it. I think if you start to feed yourself too early, you'll get full of yourself.
Oh,
And I just never really like looked at myself like that. I just enjoyed what I think that's what like keeps the legends and the longevity of it all. I think that's what keeps us going.
okay.
It's
So,
it's a not
so before you even did the wigs, the kicks, the splits, who is Kennedy Davenport? Take us back to your childhood, your growing up. How was that for you?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Before I was a performer before I was even doing drag. I was a singer.
Mhm.
I was classically trained. Talented. I didn't discover dance until I was about in the sixth grade. Uh, I was in the sixth grade, and but I was singing like around 4 or 5. I started training professionally around 8 years old, and I went to a regular elementary school. Then I went to a exploratory arts academy for middle school, and then I went to an arts magnet in high school. One of the best arts magnets in the country. Man, I add. Erica Badu graduated from there too. A lot of famous people graduated from that school. But that's something that I'm proud of. But I mean, and I think any outgoing um, little gay boy have their time with bullying
Mhm.
and things like that. But I had a challenging childhood because I had to grow up really fast because I had my sister. My mom and dad were divorced, and I was 2 years old. My sister was 2 months, and so it was me, my dad, and my sister. So for the most part, we had they call them nannies now, but then it was a babysitter.
Mhm.
For the most part, we had the babysitter, and then when I turned about 8 years old, a lot of the responsibility came on me because we moved away. Because the babysitter lived down the street, like right behind our church. So yeah, and then too, yes, I was born, in the church. I'm a church baby, church kid, church sissy, whatever you want to call it. That's me. So when we moved, the responsibilities got heavy for me. So um, and around this time, you really don't know who you are. Um, you just know like some feelings are feeling, and you don't know what's going on. So I'm having to deal with that and take on the responsibility of taking care of my special needs sister because my dad really depended on me to do the right thing at a very, very young age. Like he would be at work already. It would be my responsibility to be up, um, getting us ready for school, getting myself ready for school, walking to school. I was never dropped off. It rained, sleet, or snow. I was walking to school in elementary. Then I get to school and have to endure bullying because I was not like your average kid. I was very, very talented and I was always put in the forefront. So that brought forth the bullying because who was this faggot? Because faggot was very, very big in the 80s. So that word was very, very big. And I didn't even know what that was.
Right.
All I know is, I'm just being myself, but, here I am being called faggot by my blood family and people in school and stuff. But like the bullying and stuff kind of eased up for me. Once I got into seventh grade, you know, because I got had girlfriends and stuff. So I kind of like camouflaged it. But to be clear, I am bisexual. I love women. Well, pansexual, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
I like all kind of people. So I was dating girls like in elementary, middle school, all of that. I had experienced the thought of suicide before and tried. That was I want to say at 13, and that alone was hard because I still hadn't came out yet. I'm still young, you know what I'm saying? Still having to deal with these feelings and responsibilities as an taking me on these adult responsibilities as a kid, while still singing,
Right.
still dancing.
Right.
And I started taking dance in the seventh grade. I stopped playing the piano and took up dancing, and I danced and sang my way into Booker T. Washington High School for the Performing and Visual Arts Magnet. And there, I mean, I didn't come out until I was a junior in high school, but I was already doing drag. I was doing drag at the age of 16, my sophomore year. I was I was doing drag and hiding it from my parents, from my
Right.
daddy. But childhood, that's really pretty much it. I had a tall order, and it took me becoming an adult, being away from home, and living life and losing my father to understand what my purpose was when it came to the responsibilities of my sister, the responsibilities of my household, and what my purpose was here on earth.
So when you were younger and you had that huge of responsibility, did you think, why me? Or was it just normal that you had to go through that or you had to do that? Or was it just normal because that's what you're supposed to do?
I was so angry.
Okay.
I was so angry as a kid. I wanted to be the one. I wanted to be the kid that. I mean, I went out and played some and played with the kids. Played with the neighborhood friends and stuff. But I just didn't. I didn't like the life that I was given. I
Hmm.
didn't, and I hated watching my sister. I hated having to bathe her. I hated everything that I had to do when it came to her, and I resented my dad. I resented my father for it. I didn't understand why he had to work all the time, and like I really lived a lonesome life,
Mm.
and my life was very lonely because like when my dad would come home, he would just expect me like you have parents helping their kids with their homework and all of that. I
Yeah.
didn't get that. My dad expected me to know what was going on in their school and to just get it done. Now he wasn't mean to the where he didn't care, but he was a provider,
Mm.
and he was definitely an alpha male who um, just worked hard to take care of his two kids.
Do you feel like the role that he played in being that provider and working so hard is that what translated over to you and why you're always working and working so hard?
Oh yes, of course. Because when before my dad passed, he was the go-to. He was the rock. Like my his mother is still alive. Both of my grandmothers are still alive, and his mother, like if anything was to go down, somebody went to jail, anything that went down that concerned the family, he was the one to take care of it.
Okay.
And he was the only one that really kept a decent job. Um, and just kept the life in the family going until finally he just was like, okay, I'm not doing this no more.
Hmm.
But it was not until like because he lost his job after 18 years. I had moved. I was in Florida. I lived in Florida for 8 years
Hmm.
via the Navy because I was in the Navy, and Miami, Florida was my first duty station.
Hmm.
So when I got there, I was like, babe, I ain't finna go nowhere. I love it here, And I was kind of like, I kind of had it made because the Navy paid for my apartment. I didn't really have any major bills and stuff like that. So, I think I just had it made. So I was like, no, I'm not going anywhere. But that came with certain consequences. My dad was here struggling and he had to put my sister in a group home. And, um, yeah, and so while I was gone, it was 18 years. He was at work for corporate America, and they laid him off.
Mm.
And so the struggle became real because he was like, he my dad, he will be 67 right now. So he was came up around where the technology stuff like he couldn't be uh, a customer service rep, things like that. So he indulged he put all his time and passion in um, his uh, his passion of designing clothes. So he had his
Okay.
own. He did it on the side, but but after he got laid off, that's when he decided to go full time with it. And I think that's where our bond really, we really bonded because we were both struggling artists. Around the time I came home was like 2011, and we both became like we was just struggling artists. And I can remember, I tell the story all the time, is which why I'm always cooking. I always have food in my house. I don't let, I don't even come down to one paper towel. I spend my shopping is in the grocery store. I don't go to the malls and stuff like that. But I can remember I was home and we were, um, it was just me and him. And so I remember him scraping for change for us to get something from Captain D's. And I was like, it's not going. I just this can't happen like this anymore. You know, I lost him shortly after that, but
Gotcha.
like, all everything that happened like came into play the day that I lost him.
Mm. Okay. So you were able to see things why they happened the way they were.
It came into play. It came completely into play, and I really had to ask the Lord to forgive me. And we have to understand that God is not an idiot.
Yeah.
He is very, I mean, he's very intelligent, he's very smart. So, as a kid, you have those type of things, but I still had to ask for forgiveness within myself because I just didn't understand.
Yeah.
I did not understand and I didn't want it, but then he granted me patience with my sister. And
Hmm.
like I'm the only one that have a special patience when it comes to her.
Right.
And My mom wasn't in the picture. She was in and out. Um, she had her own demons, struggling with her addictions, and but we I still learned a lot from my mom.
Okay.
And after her last run in prison, um, she got out, paid up her fees and stuff, and I moved her into that here to Dallas like 2018. And so
Okay.
now I've been taking care of my mom and my sister ever since.
So you see what your purpose is and what your dad had at a young age groomed you for. So as an adult, see how that worked out for you.
Oh yeah,
um,
oh yeah, for real.
yeah. Why the Navy of all the branches? Tell us why you chose the Navy.
I'm okay. This is another story.
Hmm.
Okay, I was at a point in my life where everything had changed because I was 19, yeah, 19 in my first real relationship, and I made the I made a mistake of telling this person something that I did not want to say. Like I had somebody in my ear, like he need to get a job, and he don't get a job, you need to put him out. And I'm like, you know what, you right. Knowing that ain't even what I wanted.
Right.
And I'm young, and I'm like 19. I'm working for the law firm, and but then back then I was doing drugs heavy. That was a party life for me. I worked for corporate America because I didn't finish college, so I came home because I actually I was supposed to go to Sam Houston State, and I met him and wasn't no college. Y'all know how it is.
Hmm.
You meet a boy and bitch ain't no more college. So I mean, and you look back on the relationship as an adult, and really nothing was really wrong. We was not struggling or anything like that. But I came home from work and I'm all geared up, and I done told this boy he need to get a job or get out. And what did I say that for? He went ballistic and got his stuff and left. So I'm like, from that point on, like that's like from that point on, that's when you really your feelings for the person really, comes to
Comes into
light,
play.
and I really like. Wait a minute, I love this boy. Wait a minute, what am I doing? So it started going downhill because I started indulging more and more into um, the white stuff. Started doing cocaine real bad. And college, I was introduced to ecstasy when it first came out because all my friends were white. So they introduced me to ecstasy. So I had already been playing with that, and I was already smoking weed real bad because I started smoking weed at 16. Um, so he leaves my house and goes to stay with my best friend. So I got us an apartment. I left the apartment. I gave the apartment up to go and stay back with my best friend just to be with him. And the whole time it was not no coming back or nothing like that. He did not want to be with me. So I had to watch him go out with other people, go out by himself, and that was the most excruciating heartache ever. So the only way I felt I could get to him was through drugs. So we all in the house doing drugs. Like I would go get to a eight, and however, like I used to do cocaine so bad I would finish a bag before I would eat it. Hold on, let me put my phone on.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, I would like be on my 1.5 bag before I even got to them. And I was so stingy with my drugs, I would buy their own separate bags. so I wouldn't have to share. And then we would pop a pill. I get ready for the club. Like I have a picture of the last night I did drugs, and you can tell I was toe up. I'm gonna send it to your inbox after this.
Okay.
But I just really indulged, and this story is important because it's what led up to the Navy.
Mhm. Yeah, tell us.
So I was indulging really, really bad. I was getting high, and it would ease the pain. It would really ease the pain in the hopes that we could be back together because I didn't really mean it. And I could, like, even saying that right now, I could say I really didn't mean it. That I didn't want him to leave, but so one night we were all getting ready for the club, and we had did our usual run, our weed run, our coke run, our ecstasy run, so we could all be on that level. Well, I took one pill too many, and I was already on the powder, and we went out, and I thank God for Jesus. I do. Um, because I knew something wasn't right, but I just, went with the flow. So I continued on with the show. My show was awful. It was so bad. I just did enough just to like get through the night or whatever. I wasn't feeling no type of way or anything, but I was just, I was up there. I was lifted. So we got home, and we just all, then we have like rolling sessions. Like I don't know what people do these days, but we had a strobe light going, the blunt rolling, lights out, like rolling. And like with the white kids in Winston Salem, North Carolina, we had all do all kind of rolling exercises and shit. I done brought all that shit back home. Showing my friends, and it make you high, make you feel and stuff while you rolling.
Right.
But yeah, so so that night we went, like, we just called it a night, and I can remember like it was yesterday. My daughter Christelle was there. Um, my best friends were there at the time, and we still really close friends to this day. But everybody was a witness. That's how I know it was God. Um, so um, we all called it a night, and some things started happening to me, while I was laying there, and um, it was just divine intervention because I knew I was going to die, and I felt death coming for me, and I pleaded for my life. Um, I pleaded for my life, and something supernatural happened where I was pushing all this stuff out of me, God was experienced the whole beautiful light and not wanting to leave, like the presence, like all this stuff was real. And I haven't told this story in a while. um, because a lot of people just did not believe me because I was very detailed on like what was happening, and it was just a supernatural moment where I experienced the presence of God. And when I came out of it, my friends was like, they didn't even know who I was, and the sound of my name didn't even sound right to me. Like it was a moment. And so from that point on, I was like, I had been delivered from drugs. Um, I was delivered from drugs, and I stopped doing drag for a little bit, and I started seeking God. And I at that point, that's when my relationship with Christ happened. And that's how, people be like, oh, I grew up in the church, this and that, whatever, whatever. And people have their different beliefs or whatever. But my testimony is you have to have an experience with him in order to believe that he is real.
Hmm.
So I had a real experience. So I know that he's real. And so I started to like get my life back together. So And people think I went to the Navy because he went to the Navy. That's not true because I never saw him, first of all. So he ended up going to the Navy first. And then I didn't go seeking to go to no military. I'm here seeking God, fasting and praying. Like I went on a real journey. And I probably stopped doing drag like within that year. Because as a matter of fact, this is around the same time I won the preliminary to Miss Black Universe. I won Southwest Universe and didn't go. My best friend did Black America Newcomer, and I was supposed to be going. I was supposed to be in my brother Darion Talent when he went. Like all of this stuff, I just let go, and um, and it was worth it.
Yeah.
But the real conversation and the real prayer came in is that I can't shake this boy. Like I would, like clearly I wouldn't deliver from that because I couldn't. Out of everything, I still couldn't shake him. That's how I knew that I truly loved him, and I still do to this day. And I still talk to him to this day.
So you ain't shook
Um,
him.
no, I still love him. Like for us to be together, no.
Okay.
Um, yeah, for us to be, I ain't not like that. But unconditional love never dies,
Right.
and Jesus is the perfect example of that. God's love is the perfect example of agape, unconditional love, and that's what I have in my heart for His people. So I was like, here I am. I need to reshape my life. I need to get it together. Continue to get my life in order. And a recruiter called out of the blue, called my house, and I was like, Lord, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Because it was just like out of the blue. Like I was like, well, okay. I went in, listened to what he got to say and stuff, and took the test. I like, Lord, if I pass this test, then that's what I'm supposed to do. If it's your will, then that's the journey I'm gonna take. Because I needed to be restructured. For once I needed to feel like I was following and learning.
Mhm.
Because I knew I was a leader a long time ago. I was teaching kindergarten class
Right.
as a kindergarten. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I knew part of my purpose was being a leader here in the world. So for once, I just wanted to feel like I didn't have to be that person to but that was short lived because I went to boot camp and was the darn like I was the leader. God, in our division, like it's set up in divisions, and we have to sing the cadence wherever we go. And the particular division that I was in was already established, but they couldn't find in AROC. That's what they call assistant recruit officer, whatever. The AROC calls the cadence as we go, and we call it driving. But wherever we went on base, you had someone calling the cadence. And the division that I was in, it was already established. But my RDC, which was the recruit commander, she it was two black ladies, cold black ladies, and she was singing the cadence because nobody in the division could sing it. So by my voice good, everything, still straight out of school, training, everything. And I'm talking about rain, sleet, snow, you singing. And this lady was singing down. You hear very gospel, driving us down where we needed to go until one day, because if we messed up on the street, we got beat, meaning they exercised us to I'm talking about to it was rain sweat in the fucking in our ship. So I was like, baby, listen, I'm not gonna keep getting whooped. So I was listening to her, and then one day I just started singing it. I just started singing because she had a very distinct way of singing the cadence. and it was very soulful and all of that. And I learned it and started singing it. So I immediately became the A Rock. So
Okay.
I'm like, God damn, I don't want this, you know. But I mean, it's just a position. It's something when you are chosen, you can't run from that position, no matter what it is. I mean, so that's what brought me in the Navy. I was very successful in boot camp. I taught Bible school. Bible school. I was a choir director. Um, and then my first duty station was definitely not what I learned in boot camp. It was a totally different story. And I had to take you back because I dealt with depression too. I like after like that whole childhood was depression, the attempted suicide, and
Obviously.
I still stayed with depression. So to finally get to my duty station and I'm the junior and it's nothing but seniors above me. Um, I had a chief who was who was like almost ready to retire. So he didn't give a fuck. He didn't care.
Yeah.
He my first day there, he took a stack of papers and just threw them on the table and told me to like and just told me what to do. And then it was like, you didn't learn that in A school? No, they didn't teach us this. So I'm an admin
Yeah.
assistant, so I'm having to learn all kind of new programs and things like that. But all at the same time, I'm the only. This was don't ask, don't tell. So I'm the only gay person in the office. So I'm getting talked about behind my back. Very triggering. Like like bullying. Like it's all triggering. It's all coming back. So I started back doing drag, not because of that. This is the time I started back doing drag once I got to Miami, and I started seeing how some of the shows were awful, and
So you had to
yeah,
go and show them how to do it.
I was just ready to get back in drag. So yeah, but inside the workroom was hell, and from the time I was there to the time I walked out, it was just no good for me. I've been in the psych ward 3 times. Uh, yeah, 3 times. Um, I was committed. I was committed all 3 times, and I was trying to get one. The last time I was trying to get out, but because the military didn't diagnose me first, they wouldn't let me out. They wouldn't give me a medical leave.
Mm.
But that's it's like my career started back up. I started back doing drag before I went to the Navy, but I took another break, for training. And then once I got to Miami, I started back up because I had won the prelim to Miss Texas. I went to Miss Texas. I was Miss Black Texas. I also had a prelim to Black America too. Um, I had the preliminary to Southwest Universe. And like when my drag career started, it started.
Mhm.
You want? I was thrown in the pageant with the big dogs. Like I was the only one on. I was the only newcomer they let on the show because I was like all the girls that were dancers either stopped dancing or died. So I came during the time I started doing drag in '96. So I came during the time where the style of drag dancing was dying off.
Yeah. Okay. That
So
bucket.
they was
That
just
real
they
bucket.
yeah, and so they needed a dancing girl on the show. So when Stasha and Nicole and Raquel and them would come to Dallas, I would be the only one on the show outside of Sophia, who was living in Dallas, and the host and stuff.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um, yeah,
So that's that. Well, let's play the game. So I don't know if you've watched, but what we'll do is I'll give you 10 words, people, place, things, what have you, and you give us the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear that
oh
person,
Lord,
that
okay.
place, that thing, that quote, whatever. I'll start with someone easy. Your Miami sister, Tiana Love. What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
She my angel. And I'll tell y'all, when I left the Navy, and I hope I don't get emotional. Already, we ain't even an hour in. But when I left the Navy, I walked out on them. And I knew that I wasn't gonna have to give up my apartment. Well, mind you, this is before we became friends. When I first met Tiana, it was at a talent night, and she was not nice to me at all. First
Oh
of all,
no.
she was not
What?
nice. I was competition, honey. I came in, hey, she looked at me and rolled her eyes, bitch.
I don't believe
And
that. I'm
so
so
oh
sorry.
yeah, yes, man. We were, baby. If you was doing drag in Florida, the girls were serious. The talent nights was like pageants. That's
Okay.
how I learned how to be clean, consistent, and good on the show. It was living in Florida. But okay, but how we became friends was there was a club called Jay's, and I auditioned to be on the cast, and she was already on the cast, and that's how we became friends. But we hadn't gotten close yet. So um, when I left, I knew I had to leave the apartment, and I didn't want to go back home. And it was one of those days that I didn't have any money, I didn't have no food, I didn't really know where my meal was going to come from. And it just so happened that she just called me. And I'm not the type of person, and this is a time where I don't have any best friends right now in Miami. People still warming up to me. This is like 2005. Folks still want to fight me and jump on me and stuff. No, I don't know. But she called me, and she was like, "Well, what's wrong?" And I was like, I just let her know what was going on and that I was hungry, and I didn't have any place. I really didn't have a place to go, and I was hungry. She said, "Well, I cooked. Um, you welcome to come and eat with me." And whew,
She don't want me
that's
to eat,
why.
but she gonna feed you.
Yeah, she so I went over there and that was the best meal I ever ate. Oh my God.
She wait,
And,
she cooked better than you?
my sister know how to cook.
That ain't what I asked.
I say we kind of neck and neck. We both
Okay.
if we both in the kitchen, y'all can just hang it up.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But from that point on, we became the best of friends, and we stayed in a one room house, a rooming house together, same room, drag on this side, boy clothes on this side, and thugging it out. And we stayed together for a while before we separated, but nothing separated the relationship that we created.
Yeah.
Um
Yes.
yeah, so I love her. I mean,
That would be
yeah.
such an awesome moment in November. I was gonna say October for y'all to win together. I think that would be so awesome.
Yeah, that would be great. I would love that too because I already know how it's gonna go. So whenever she getting something made, I'm just tell whoever she getting to make her stuff to just make too.
Okay, gotcha. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear your mother collects his Davenport?
Oh, stern, um, but huge heart, and people don't understand. Like you have to learn my mother. She got a mouth and all of that, but she she has a huge heart, and she was very hard on me coming up in this world. I'm so glad. I'm grateful for her censoring me. Like when Facebook and MySpace came out, she censored me so bad. Like everything, you don't need to put your whole life on Facebook. Why did you post that? Take that down. She was already like grooming me to be the professional that I am.
Okay.
She did not want me to do drag because I was still in high school. So anytime I would get ready to go do a talent night and she had to do my face, she would mess it up on purpose.
Okay. Oh, that sounds about
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, because she did not want me doing drag. She wanted me to be focused and be in school and stuff. and we didn't have like the mother daughter relationship that we have now. She was really hard on me. I didn't have no girlfriend conversations. I don't think I was scared to call her, but when I did, the phone call didn't last but a couple of minutes. If I showed up to her house and I did not call, she slammed the door in my face. Like she was a hard mother,
Gotcha. But it
you
worked.
know,
It paid
and but
off.
it paid off. And like people like when they talk about when they talk about people having more than one mom and stuff, like I have more than one mom, but that was because I needed them. And I talked to my mom Alexis about them first, because I couldn't. She was not available. Like we wasn't girlfriends like that, and she would tell me, but she didn't know that while I was in the first term of me staying in Miami, I was in an abusive relationship. I was getting my ass beat and still having to go to work and still having to deal with, you know, the depression and
Right.
the not understanding, still not understanding my purpose and all of those things. So outside of being delivered from the drugs that really made it really bad, I was still dealing with domestic violence and all this type of things. And that's where Champagne Bordeaux came in at.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Um, the night you won Miss US of A, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
I was accomplished. Not
Okay.
my career, but it was a goal that was accomplished, and I was crying down. I had cried like I was the real definition of crying lashes off.
Okay.
'Cause yeah, yeah. That I
Okay.
mean, that was the best. That was my fourth try, and I wasn't taking no for an answer, and I
Okay.
didn't.
You're a trained dancer, so what's the first thing that comes to your mind when someone may mention Debbie Allen?
Oh, I would love to meet Debbie Allen, but she's definitely a pioneer in our black community. And like I watch her school and stuff, and like a lot how she was on Fame is like how she really is for real, you know.
Mhm.
So I mean, her and her sister Felicia Rashad, I mean, they are like the epitome of being raised right, you know, and
Right.
goal driven, goal driven, wanting everybody around them to succeed and making sure that they succeed. And that's kind of like how I am. You know what I'm saying? But my circle will tell you if I got it, you got it. If I can't make a booking, I call a Kyria or I call Raja or I call Jasmine Masters. You know, if there's opportunities for me to bring my community up, I take it.
Okay. Okay. What's the
And
first thing
that's
that comes to mind when you hear Dallas Raised Rob?
oh my best friend. Damien. That's my best friend too. Like I have some real best friends. We sell it like we celebrated 30 years of friendship in January. So I associated with me starting drag because I started drag at the same time we became friends.
Mhm.
And people don't know we started out dating, talking.
Ooh,
And
exclusive.
yeah, we were yeah. And I was so head over heels, and I still love him. But I was head over heels and infatuated, in infatuation, and we hadn't even met yet.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh,
and we finally met at a church lock-in on New Year's
mm.
Eve.
Okay.
That's when I finally saw him. He was stepping. And so the rest was history. But we just been the fun didn't come until we became best friends.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. When
Ah!
you, I can only imagine those stories. Oh, when,
I mean, life. I mean, just life. And he knows my family. My family knows him. He's been there from the beginning to the end. I also have another best friend by the name of Cedric, who was already out that was already out, in the community and on the scene. He's the one who got me introduced to legendary, God bless her soul. Nikki Foster, who was the first person to ever put me in drag. So he introduced me to the life of drag. But
Okay.
Damien was and still is my road dog.
With your faith and you going through your journey, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you either recite or you hear the Lord's Prayer?
Um, it covers all bases. When you don't really know what to say or how to say it or how to even begin a relationship with him, that's the first thing that you should say, and that really gets you in the door with heartfelt intention. But I usually end up just veering off because because of where I am and where I've been um, in Christ. Yeah, I need a little something more in depth.
Uh-huh.
You know.
Okay. A little more meaty.
Yeah, a little more me. Lord, yeah, forgive my debts. Lord, forgive me because I have sinned.
Yes.
I ain't doing
Come on now.
right. And they might be doing wrong against me. Forgive them too.
Okay.
Very bad.
Um, Number seven, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you see your favorite color? I don't know what it is, but what is your favorite color? And what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you see it?
Royal, um, royalty, um, peace, beauty. That's blue.
Blue. Okay. Royal blue. Royalty, peace, and beauty. Serene. Number eight, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear or you remember, because we had this conversation back Vogue Day, Vogue weekend, Miss Flea Market pageant.
My goodness. Let me tell you something. That was the first time. Well, I started going to the flea market pageant,
Mhm.
and I'm still in the realm of getting my foot in with these Miamians,
Right.
and that was the hardest thing. You had, Young and Tender, Miss Tender, and all everybody. This was and to get my foot in. I didn't, back in the day, you did free shows. That's
Mm.
how I knew. You offered to do a cameo spot. So when the flea market pageant came up, I offered to, got with the powers that be to get on the show, at the pageant. So I get there, I'm getting in drag. This is before I competed. I
Hmm.
get there, I'm getting in drag, and Tatiana Braxton and Natasha Braxton walk in together. Like this was like I already knew who Tatiana was through watching uh, Black America, but I hadn't formally met them in person, and they were not nice. Well, Natasha wasn't nice. It's
Sounds
so
about right.
funny now. We laugh about it. We laugh about it to this day because they didn't know who I was, and she was like, "Well, can you move your stuff?" Like
Oh,
I had, yeah, I was getting the drag and stuff. She made me move my stuff, but then I was like, "I want to run for this pageant."
okay.
If nothing else, Kennedy know how to. Even then, I mean, competing was my life. I sang in competitions. I was, first chair and everything. When it came to choir, every voice I sang tenor all the way down to bass too. Like I was a competitor. My dad raised me to be a competitor, and I can't was not in our vocabulary. So
Okay.
I was like, I'm gonna run in it. And my mom was hard on me too, especially when I had my singing career and like with the practicing and all of that. But I was like, I gotta run. So I made up my mind
To run.
that I was gonna run. And they had already told me I was not gonna win because it was gonna be they already set it out for somebody else to be, to win. I said, okay. So take it back a little bit. This was during the Black US of A days. my journey of becoming Miss Gay Black US of A, which is how I met Deja. And so I went to New York to spend some time with Deja. And she is one of very few that I've shared my goals and dreams of journey of life of pageantry with, and her along with Aja, and I would love to tell that story. But so I was with Deja, and I was like, yeah, I want to do Miss U. I'm going to do Miss USA, blah blah blah, and I want to do the flea market pageant. And I was just telling her, and I was like, I got to get this made. I got to get this made, and she was like, bitch, why you don't have to get nothing made? It's stuff in that closet right there. What? Oh, I get to play. I get to play in your drag. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Because that was a problem. I was, running in pageants with, with no drag. So she did gave me a whole package. So now I'm ready for the flea market. Nobody knew. They just knew that I was running and that I was going to lose because it was for somebody else. So I done came back from New York with a whole package. And I done went to the flea market and whooped on all of them and won the pageant, even one swimsuit. And I took that whole package and swept through that side of Florida.
That's why they was. Excuse me, could you move your stuff? But they because they knew you was coming. Okay, all
Oh my
right.
God. Yeah,
Miss
they told me in my
Stewart,
face I wasn't going to win. They told me in my face that I was not going to win.
and you
And
won.
after I did, that's when I was doing this joy and stuff. I
Uh-huh.
had cleared the flea market and they stopped my music. And I remember um, JD Mon Tender coming out to get me to pull me off the stage. She was like, "Don't worry about it. You already won." Because I jumped clean off the stage into a split, and that's when it kicked back up. The music kicked back up, and I was
Yeah,
going to take off the audience, and they cut my music. I
listen.
had danced my ass out.
Um, J.D. Martin. What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Wow. JD is a part of my dream team because for a long time I was not able to, like, people given my career in pageantry, people think I ran for Miss America, people think I ran for Black America already, like people think I ran for these pageants already. But the main reason why I had not people hadn't seen me on a national level like that was because I didn't have any. I couldn't afford to run in pageant and on a national scale like that. I was doing drag for survival. All I had was a few dance costumes and a gown or two to do, to make it through. And when Drag Race came around and like the finances got a little better and I was able to start investing in my career and my passion, then I started using the people that I've always wanted to use. I started using, the people that, the same, I mean, with Reggie, like those people are my heart. I just get emotional thinking about it because I was never that girl that would or had that type of financial support. I've always been, doing the pageant, everybody's stuff. I won in their stuff, but it wasn't mine. I remember Raquel telling me the last time I ran it for Ebony, I should have won that, but I gave it up at question and answer. But she told me I was sitting next to her. She said, "Niece, don't run in another pageant in somebody else's stuff." And I took that and I took that to heart. My aunties would tell you that I listen. I never was that kind of just because I'm talented that I know everything. I know I don't
Right,
know everything. And
right.
I listen to everything. I watched them all and coming up. But JD was just a part of my dream team. And I love him because he just know exactly what to do, and everybody knows that. And the fit gonna be right, and he has helped me to a few many victories.
How many do you have? Just if you can count.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, so it's
You
that many. Oh,
you see
okay.
the crown case over there.
Yeah. Okay.
I
We get
I think
it.
I'm probably close to okay. I'm close to like 40 or something, maybe,
Okay. Wow.
maybe a little
Okay.
more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 10, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? You're on your way there. Very anticipating your return. MBU. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of your preparation and your winning MBU?
Um, I say the first thing that came to mind while you was talking, and it's a new beginning
Okay.
because we kind of touched bases on it during when I was at Vogue,
Yes.
and it's definitely a different experience when you compete. Now, being in the audience, you have the respect because I have the respect, or I feel like I mean, I know I have the respect for my Black community
Hmm.
because of my accomplishments on television, and you know, but no, you don't feel the kind of love until you finally hit the stage. Like, and from me being an entertainer and watching my people going up for our people, I've never experienced that. And to finally have the opportunity to be in that realm it'll be a new beginning and a new feeling for me. Now, like I mean, I'm a former Miss D Elegance, and I'm a former, I ran for Ebony, but it's nothing like being on the MBU stage. It's
Okay.
nothing like being on the NBA stage
Right.
because these two main pillars in our community was built solely for us
Mm.
and solely for our experience. And I just feel more of a life goal completion.
Hmm. To be that.
I feel the love. I feel the love from my other ethnicities. I feel that because of my accomplishments and things that I've done, and going all across the world. Um, you know, from Greece and everywhere, being everywhere. But it's nothing like like Billy G said, success is nothing without somebody to share it with. I want to share it with my Black community.
Got you. So I'm going to do this. We've never done this before. You're the first person. We're not
Mhm.
ending or anything. We still have another 45 minutes an hour, but we're definitely going to have to do a part two because there's so many things I have written down that I want to talk about. But
Yeah.
because of obligations with both of us, then so you're the first person who's going to have a part two. But let's finish. Um,
Yeah.
we had a great conversation the night you cooked before Vogue.
Mhm.
Ironically, that was your question at Vogue, what we had just talked about, and you spoke on it,
Mhm.
and you just brought it up a little bit. Why do you feel that your community doesn't respect you as much as you want them to, or as much as they haven't given you your just due that you feel is owed to you? Is
Oh,
there a specific reason, or is that something that you think, or is it a specific reason?
no, with our people, we love the people who are around all the time.
Okay.
If that makes sense, like if in like I didn't come up. I came up around the people who created the drag the black pageantry world, but I wasn't in it, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like I didn't compete in them. My fan base started in the Spanish community and then the white community. I wasn't always on the black side.
Okay.
So it's almost like, girl, we know who that is, but girl, what's she doing over here? And that's how. And it may not be that way, but it feels that way. Now, don't get me wrong. I get the respect and the love when I show up in the building. Like they know who I am. But it's like many times I have gotten a viewing. I go to like they really just started opening up to me. Like when I go to the Heretic or perform at a black function or something, and I go and I twirl the house down, and everybody's just sitting on their hands.
Uh-huh. Okay. Now,
So it's just little instances where I'm not, nobody is these people, but I'm just using it for an example. Like, no, no, no. I don't even have to go as far as like, you know, Raquel and Sasha and them. I can do, I love the way they go up for Amaya. I love the way they go up for Kamaya. I love the way they go up for the other Raquel. And like, you know what I'm saying? I
yeah.
love, and I sit in the audience and long for that. And because I've been in, next year will be 30 years in the business. And and it feels incomplete without the complete love and support from our own black people.
Okay.
So that's why my whole goal is to compete, but to give my community you know what they give what they ask for. I can compete with the best of them, and I can compete on the same. I was raised by the same people.
Do you feel or think that if you would have been embraced or loved, promoted more by the African American community, Black community, you would have been further on? Because go ahead, I'm gonna let you answer that first.
um I think, like everybody, I think, had I, how can I say it? If I prioritized my career and said, okay, I'm going to do Mississauga, but I want to do Dumar one more time, or I want to go and get myself together and go and do Duval. If I made my presence known more, then I probably would be further or in the door more so than I am now.
Okay.
Because
So this
I was at those pageants when Giselle was newcomer and Kyla was newcomer, and although I was around all of that, but I just part of it, part of the reason was me holding back because I know what's expected when it comes to a black pageant. We are the most critical, and I'm talking about just being on the judges panel. So I know I can't come no any kind of way. So and that not coming no any kind of way comes with finances, and I didn't have that. So I know if I wanted, because back then Black Universe, I would go on the Black Universe and stuff with Sheena. And that was a whole, that's just like US of A, days of pageantry and money. And it just wasn't in the cards. Life wasn't life and then.
but see, this is the flip side of that. You're one of the few Black girls to go on RuPaul's Drag Race and be successful. So how does
Yeah.
that correlate with you? That you're one of us clearly, and you've got on this platform and you've been so successful, and I don't want to compare, but more successful than others, and then also more successful than those that can't even get on. So do you kind of feel like you are embraced in that aspect for being one of those girls?
Yes. And I don't apologize for that.
Okay.
The RuPaul's Drag Race was a career choice, and that's a choice that any girl can make.
Mhm.
You can audition just like our audition. I didn't get no special phone call or nothing. My audition was trash. At least I thought it was. You know what
Well,
I'm
clearly
saying?
not.
So right. So it was like it's the work that I put in that I'm grateful that my community respects
Got you.
because I have the credentials from being a newcomer and doing talent nights to having my own talent nights to winning multiple titles, including national titles, and conquering television and television competition reality shows, all of those things. And to I know for a fact because I treat people how I want to be treated. So when I go to Westland and I go to North America, I treat everybody with all respect due because I want the same in return. I love my people. I love them. And
Right.
I'm just as country and gutter as the next. But because because of my longevity in the business, I know how to be a businessman and I know how to be professional when it's time to be professional. But what makes me that girl is the ability for me to be your girlfriend and be a professional all at the same time.
Mhm. And also, I think too, to be versatile, I think that you have that as well. Um, it's almost like Coast when you know when to do, what to do, and where to do it. So I think you should definitely consider that. RuPaul's
Well,
Drag
yes.
Race, yeah. Do you clearly it's helped your career in instances, but we don't
Yes.
always talk about the hindrances from that show. Do you have any that you might have faced that you might have dealt with since you've been on or since you've been a part of that community
Oh, just within drag
within
race,
drag? Yes.
drag or drag race.
No, since you've been a part of Drag Race, we always talk about how it has. Girls say, "Oh, it's the best thing for my career," this and other, but we never talk about the hindrances that being on Drag Race may have given you. Have you faced any of that?
I haven't had really any hindrances because um, well, I would say this: my career and like you have your career and you go out into the world and you work and do. I don't have those type of hindrances.
Okay.
I was 17 years in the business before I even got on Drag Race.
Okay.
So I already established good rapport and good work ethic with everybody. I haven't burned no bridges with anybody. I come in, I do my job, I do what is asked of me. I do my best with um with my community and my fans and stuff. And so I didn't have any hindrances as far as that. Now hindrances within the drag race community a little because the drag race community itself is racist and prejudiced, and uh, we just the black girls kind of have it a little harder, but I don't lean completely on my career of drag race. And that's how I've been able to stay booked, stay busy, because I don't lean on drag race. Drag race was a career choice. And because of that career, it allowed me to make the kind of money that's deserving of
Hmm.
me. And um, and I'm able to maneuver how I want to maneuver. Like I'm my own businessman. So if I don't allow the situations of drag race determine what's going on around me and what I have to get done outside of the drag race world.
Okay. Got you. Um, do you think that you would have climbed this mountain to the level that you are now if you did not get on Drag Race? Or that particular career choice definitely elevated you?
That career choice definitely elevated me where I am today. Because when I decided to do drag race, it was a do or die situation. Like I
Ooh.
need to do the. I know if I want to go mainstream and make the kind of money that I can survive on, I need to go mainstream. I need to because I didn't want to audition for the show, but because of the way things were turning, like I had people turning me down, telling me because I wasn't on the show, they wasn't booking me, and I was too much of a risk. They knew my capability. They knew I was tearing it down over here, but they needed people to they I needed my name needed to draw people in.
Got
And
you.
because it wasn't doing that, then I wasn't being booked. So that was like, okay, I need to either get on this show or I need to retire. And that was the option.
So let's unpack that. Because a lot of times we've seen on social media, and I've seen posts from some of our legendary girls that says these drag race girls are making it hard for us to be booked. So you've been in the
Mhm.
position where you weren't getting booked because you weren't on the show. Now you're the top tier getting booked because you are on the show. How does
Yeah.
that work for you?
Well,
Like, do you
I
think?
mean, well, go ahead.
No, I'm saying, do you think that it's fair that the local legend can't get on a show, but here you come because you're on television, you get the entire budget that they would give the locals?
Well, I worked hard to get that entire budget. And then you forget I was 17 years in the business before I got on the show.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm not one of those microwave queens that started doing drag because of Instagram and got on the show. I'm not in those that category of drag race girl. I'm still that local girl, and I still get paid the $100. I still get paid the $150 when I'm home. You get what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
don't turn down no money. I don't charge my community that kind of money because I know they're not going to pay it. So I have the decision when I know how much they are paying. It's my decision if I want to work for that amount of money or not. You
Okay.
know, so I don't put myself in the position of being the drag race girl because I'm not taking their money. I'm taking what I earned.
Okay. Got you. 30 years in the business next year. So you've seen a lot, you've done a lot, you stopped, you started back, you wore other people's clothes. Now you have so many JDs you can't even count. You've won national titles, you're on your way to win more. Where would you say the state of drag is right now from your lens, Kennedy Davenport?
I think the state of drag is where we see it individually. Um, I don't think it's at the whole. You know, people saying, "Oh, drag is dying." Dude, I don't see it dying. I don't. I see people still running in prelims. I still see people running in pageants. I still see people. I still see. I'm not in the show by myself.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not traveling to Wisconsin, who's celebrating 35 years this year. I'm not traveling there, and I'm the only person there. You know.
Right.
So it is definitely not dying. I think it's a state of mind. If you keep talking about it and saying it's dying, it's gonna die.
Hmm.
You speak things as though they were.
Okay.
You know, I would never say my career is, I would never say the career that I chose to do is dying. There's always something to be done. There's always something you could be doing. It's just like in retail. They taught us, you know, you just don't be standing around because it's something you could be doing. You could be straightening the rack, you could be dusting off a shelf, you could be folding up some clothes. It's some stuff that you could be doing. It's some phone calls that you could be making. It's some differences you could be making. You could become a promoter if you want to become a promoter since you think it's dying. Or you can call a promoter and say, what can I do to help? You know, it's a lot of things that can be done within our community to help uplift it. You know, if you feel that it's down, then be the stepping stone. You have the power. You know, you have the power. It's in life. It's in your tongue. So I'm not going to speak. I'm not going to speak down on my career because from my point of view, yeah, it's been times where Lord, I don't know if this phone not going to ring, but God keep blessing because if if I don't have anything, I get an email and or inquiry about somebody wanting to book me. I'm no different from the next person. It's about what you put into the universe.
Mm,
And it's about what you put on that stage. Become the booking one. Become the girl that they want to book.
mm,
Start doing stuff that makes you stand out from everybody else. True enough, drag dance been around since before me. But
mhm,
what I did was I took a little bit from Coco. I took a little bit from Jacqueline. I took a little bit from Naomi Sims. I took a little bit, a whole lot from Chevelle. I took a little bit from Tamisha. And I made everything that they did my own. And that's what make me bookable. That's what make people want to see me on the show because I started doing stuff different that they wasn't used to seeing, and I'm easy to work with.
mhm. Yeah.
I come to work. I don't when I do get full, I'm on my way out the door. When I am drinking, I drink heavy. I'm on my way out the door. I'm not that belligerent. What is it? Belligerent type of
Belligerent.
drunk. I don't get in no fights and things like that. That's not. I don't do that in my job. That's not me. But I like to have a good time. I like to make sure everybody else is having a good. All those things come into play when it comes to the business of
Got it.
drag and where it's going. You got to put
Twist on
your
it.
own. Yeah, you got to put what you adding to the community. What is you adding to it? Not just your career and you getting on the stage looking the way you looking. No, it's
Speak,
not just about you.
speaking of, you are clearly deemed an entertainer. Do you think that people have gotten lazy and less creative? Let's talk about that.
I would think I think the younger generation is in the like in the works of trying to reshape it, and it's sad because like some fundamentals of drag should never be lost, like wearing breasts and like because like some things to me, some things are valid and some things I see as being lazy. Like I see one beauty queen who, maybe a national title holder. Their clothes look right. They look together, respected. But then you see another beauty queen come in. She stank, and like her clothes not up to par. And to me, that just reads lazy. Like you don't want to shave. You know, if it comes hand in hand, and if that's just an example, but in
Right.
you have young queens that don't want to go through the whole process of putting on pads and want to put and be proportionized. You don't have to be a hippie girl. Every girl not a hippie girl, but it, baby, Gina from Miss Thang, Campbell girl, she ain't got no hips, but she got something there.
Mhm.
She got something. but I mean, I say that to say, like, some things are just because you're lazy
Right.
and you don't want to go through the real steps of drag 101. And I think that's where a lot of these up and coming queens, well, I say up and coming queens are lacking leadership and parenthood like I had and like we had, and then you have the other seasoned queens that are being lazy and being complacent and don't want to evolve their drag and don't want to stay in the same place and compete the same way and get mad because they get the same result. No, every time you got to put in the work to make who you are look different from for these people.
Mm, okay. Okay. You
Drag is
are.
drag is evolving. Drag is
Yeah.
forever evolving. So if you not in that realm of evolving, don't get mad when you get left. Don't get mad when you get these results that you've been getting since you've been doing drag since 2000.
Okay. Let's talk about this subject for a while, for a second. You are the promoter. No, I don't. Well, I don't know the actual title, but you have something to do with US of A. It's the promoter, right?
Yes, I'm the national promoter for Miss Gay US of A.
Okay. Tell us how you obtained that title and what does it mean to you to be that?
Okay, it was a shock and a surprise. I did not ask to be the promoter. I wasn't even thinking about the promoter. We just kind of came out of the just barely came out of the pandemic. I've been reigning for 3 years, so me and Jerry was just basically like still trying to keep the system alive because this is the pandemic.
Right.
Um, so we lose Jerry, we lose Craig,
Mm.
we lose Miss Linda, Jerry's sister, and Scott called me and asked me, did you know, did I would I be the promoter? And I'm like, what? I'm like, what, baby? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't. The best thing I know was how to be an administrator as a queen, like maintaining and keeping a relationship with, the promoters and creating relationships, doing my bookings and stuff for potential promoters. And, I hate I hate using the word selling a prelim because I'm not a salesman, but creating relationships and seeing where people mind frame is when we speak about Miss Gay US of A. And well, since I'm in this particular city, would you be interested? Or people just even inquiring about becoming a promoter. I did That's the only thing I knew about. I don't know anything else, and but throwing events, Kennedy know how to do that. Kennedy,
Okay.
that it's a Kennedy Davenport experience. So all this stuff is what, I'm thinking, because I'm like, I don't like, this is a big deal at the time. This is a big deal. I talked to Mama. I talked to um Coffee and other promoters within the division and see how they felt about it, because my thing was I never claimed to know everything, and this is new for me. So I need your help. I need your help. I need your help. I need your help. This is a group effort here because we just trying to make efforts to keep this legacy alive. So he asked me, and it took me some time to like really wanted to see if I wanted to take on this, opportunity. And it took me a while. And I finally, I said yes to it. And, um, but I was never like, oh, baby, I got this. I ain't never been that type of person with anything because I'm always open minded. I can hear, I can listen, and but once the my duties were specified, with me working together with Scott, it made it a little bit easier. But what people don't understand is it is hard to the main problem, um, that's visible to the community is finding venues. And
Yeah. I think every system has that issue.
but let them tell it, oh, it's all my fault, and I didn't do this, and Kennedy didn't do that, and it's been like that since I've been the promoter. But luckily, I don't pay attention to those people. I don't listen to nobody that don't know the whole story.
Right.
You can make your own conclusions about whatever, but hold on. Y'all, you finished? Sire. Okay. Upstairs. Is somebody at the door? This is my life.
Yeah.
Um, what was I saying?
You say you don't
Oh,
listen to people that don't make decisions.
no, well, no, I don't listen to people that don't know the whole story. Like, that don't really know the whole. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. It's not my. If you want to know what's going on behind the scenes, become a member. Become, help us. say you want to lend a helping hand so you'll know what's going on. Like, I start looking for a venue right after the pageant
Right.
every year. But these venues don't want to return your emails. Then when they return your emails, they um that date is taken. So they waited all this time to tell you that that date is taken. You know, eh, just a lot. And then when I finally am able to get prime example, prime example. Um, what year was this? It was uh the year Jessica Jade won.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was the year Jessica Jade won, and we was at the Crown Plaza. I got turned down by the Longhorn Ballroom at the last minute. So I'm having crunch time, and I knew that the Crown Plaza had Miss Dallas Southern Pride there. So I was like, if I can just get a lead to get that building, we can do it there because we on crunch time right now.
Hmm.
We done did the whole contract, the whole setup, everything. Let me tell you what people do not know. When we got to when it came time for Miss US of A, when we got there, how about the lady that did the contract and everything was no longer working there? And they did not do a pass down of none of our information.
Oh my God.
They didn't even know we were coming. And they had another event going on in the building. So we was downstairs and setting up. Mind you, I don't pay out of my pocket $1,500 for a DJ. That was out of my pocket. Decorations, everything. And this was before the pageant was going on. Before the pageant. And we was like, it's hot down here. Like, what's going on? We started dealing with that heat before the pageant even started. And the manager, oh, this little prissy sissy walking around wanting to be seen. If there's anything else you need, just let us know. We turned the air down. So nah, bitch, you ain't turned no air down.
Because we don't feel it.
Yeah. So no, that's not even the icing on the cake. In order, like, because this particular hotel has parking going up, right? Right when the pageant starts, the thing on the outside stops working. So it's a line at the door starts working. And that's not working to let the people up to park to get into the building. That was another problem. Then the start of the week, they just charging people's credit cards that Scott had to go down and fix. It was so much going on that week. And we just put on a smiling face. Nobody knew these things. But all we got was, oh, we in the hot. It was hot. And I can't believe Kennedy did this. And I can't believe US of A this and US of A that. Y'all don't know what we have to go through. And this is every year.
Yeah. Do you regret taking it
You
on
know?
now? Now that you have went through all of that.
Um, I look at it like anything that I love, and I love gay use of A.
Okay.
And if not me, who? If
Okay.
not me, who? So I don't, I have no regrets, and I'm on the working wheel right now. Looking for us a venue, and with some great prospects in line because it's our 40th year coming up, and I'm determined to make it the 40th year and the best year.
Do you find it hard working with queens, girls, guys that may feel like, well, child, she's just my equal. I've been doing this longer than her. She can't tell me what to do. Is that a downside of it, or you've learned to just adapt?
Not at all.
Okay.
Like the farmers that actually do come back, and I take them for example. They respect me,
Mm,
and I
good.
respect them. Um, and I ask like people like my auntie Tommy Rouse. I ask people like my auntie Layla. Like mainly Tommy because I have to work with her during that week. Auntie, am I
Right.
doing okay? Auntie, is this right? Please tell me what you think. You know, the pageant is big on integrity. So, and I'm in charge of the judges panel. So I take that job so serious, and anybody will tell you.
Right.
So and I work hand in hand with Auntie Tommy. So I just want to make sure that I'm making Jerry proud, and I don't really care what the real rap is saying because they don't know what's going on.
Right.
I'm doing my best. I'm not too busy to prioritize, and people have to understand. Drag has a big umbrella, and because you do drag, all these jobs are yours too. Just because you're not a promoter, don't mean that you're not supposed to be on the phone networking for your own brand, checking your own emails, going out promoting and getting your own self booked. Like I'm not doing no more than what you're supposed to do as a professional drag queen.
Gotcha.
I just took on the title of being a promoter to help.
Mhm. Um, so Aja, Deja, ballroom, your MBU prep. I definitely want to touch on that in part two. But these next 15 minutes, I want to talk about some of the personal things. Today, justice was served. Your king's assassin was sentenced. Talk to us for a few minutes about that loss that you endured during your reign as queen. What it did to you? If you can speak on that for a few seconds.
I definitely feel a feeling of emptiness because he really was like he was the backbone of the couple in a sense because he was the most excited. I've been winning pageants. Even though I love Queen, I love the opportunity. I performed 3 times before, 2 or 3, no, 3 times before I competed. Love the system. Love everything about it. But he, the one, was just so excited about it, and to like lose him during our reign, it was just a huge emptiness. And I was like, I even told like Coco Van Cartier, I don't want to do it. Like I don't even want to continue. I don't want to do it. And then I said to myself, I was like, the only way I can do this is I have to carry him with me everywhere I go,
Everywhere you go. Mhm.
every walk, everything. I have to have him with me. He was that void feeling. Like I don't like I tell the story all the time. I don't like taking stopping to take pictures and shit. Like, selfies, and I'm just old school like that. I don't have my
Right.
phone in my hand for that
Right.
purpose. And he would come on, Queen. Come on, we
Yeah.
gotta take a picture. He would not, and I would be cussing him out. I cuss him out so fast and he'd be so sweet. And I was like, oh, I done cuss this man out. I be cussed him out and everything. He don't care. He did not
Right.
care. He was like, okay, well, come on and take this picture anyway. I got him right here.
Right. Oh, we miss you, sugar, and I'm glad that
Am I-
justice was served.
Yeah, he right here at my tomato station, but he was definitely it was a void because he was just a light, and he was a person that he's a true example of a person that loved what he did. He loved every aspect of it, took pride in it, and he loved the people around it. He loved our circle of our community, and he was glad to be on stage, and the stage was his life. And when it was taken away, you can tell that one of the lights were turned off. Definitely.
In my mind, because Pisces, I said she's not going to defend because if she wins, it's like she's cheating on her king. Was there any truth to that, or you wouldn't have defended anyway?
Yeah, it was a lot of truth in it. I didn't want to be anybody else's queen.
Okay,
Um,
gotcha.
I told him that night that I didn't want to be anybody else's queen. But both of us was preparing to defend.
Wow.
Yeah, He was kind of on the fence, but I wasn't having it. He was going to defend because I was going to defend. I was going to because I competed by myself, and I was bringing my dance team the next to defend. So
Gotcha.
I was not going to play with them, and they were going to lose.
Hmm. I know that's right. So these next, I listen. We know. Listen,
I
these
told them
next few.
that, girl, Trini, I told them that on the microphone.
I'm sure we know how
Oh
you do.
God!
Um,
Oh, it's all in love. Yes.
these next few questions is the ones that we typically ask towards the end. But again, guys, because of scheduling and things, we are bringing Kennedy back. So I'll get with you in your inbox about that because there's so many other things that we need to touch on. And you did tell us
Oh
that your
yeah.
life is a novel. So listen. But
Oh
typical
yeah. I
questions that
really.
we ask, typical questions that we ask towards the end, all of our guests. Um, four, your Mount Rushmore of drag. Who are you putting on there?
Ooh. Oh my God! I think I chimed in when you asked Antoinette this. Uh, Dead or alive? Or could I
Oh
do
yeah,
two
yeah.
separate
Dead or
ones?
alive, dead or alive, dead or alive.
Oh, I want to do two separate ones.
Well, do two separate
Uh,
ones then.
uh, okay. Dead. I would say Racing Scott.
Okay,
Um, Naomi.
okay,
My grandmother Coco.
okay.
Uh, and I would say the local legend here, Nikki Foster.
Okay.
Um, and I say Nikki Foster because she was the first. Because I didn't like drag queens.
Hmm.
I didn't like drag queens, and
But she was
when
the first
she yeah when she opened her drag life and home to me, it
one.
was a totally different perspective.
Gotcha.
Like when I walked into her room, she had her tipping outfit laid out from head to toe on the bed. She had what she was gonna wear on the show on the bed, head to toe. You know, she taught me the basics of walking out your house looking like something, looking like a woman, and um, the basics of base and powder. Like she was my foundation. So
Okay.
that's why I definitely choose her. Alive, I would say of drag. That's hard. That's really really hard. Um, I would have to say my mom, Calexis.
Hmm.
That's one. Um, Giselle Barbie.
Okay.
Only because not only because I'm saying because I know her,
Hmm.
you know, and
Okay.
I know her heart, and she is part of the blueprint and epitome of drag. Um,
Two more alive.
oh God, Tasha Long,
Okay.
my auntie Tasha. It's a lot of people raised me. A lot of people took part in my career. Because I could do like the elders, and then I could do a newcomer Rushmore, like.
Right.
But
But this
Tasha
last
Long,
one, I want this last one to be a living male queen,
living male,
a living born
male
queen. What?
queen.
Yeah.
Um, it's a lot of them. Oh. I could say I could split my head and do um, Trinity. Um, although she identifies as trans now, but that's my baby. And Chantel Sparkles.
Okay. Okay. She do some good hair.
Oh,
um,
but she do
okay.
some nasty jazz too. Um, yeah, and like often misunderstood, but like that baby talent cannot be denied. I knew Trinity when she was 12.
Mhm.
I met her in her house with her mama when we was doing house pageants in Miami. And talk about someone who really studied drag. She studied drag and every drag queen around her. And I saw this with my own two eyes, you
Hmm.
know.
Right.
And she's an impeccable entertainer, regardless of, what she's going through or who she's going through it with. She's an impeccable entertainer. And 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 I can say that because I've been in and out of her life since that baby was 13 years old.
Give me three up and coming entertainers that you see being around for a long time, that you like, that you enjoy their aesthetic, their entertainment value that
First one
aren't.
come to mind is my daughter, Laomi. I mean Leilani, I'm sorry. Leilani Jackson Ross.
Okay.
Um, all my kids, well, I'm being favoritism, showing favoritism. Um, my other daughter, who her name is Kiki, she's a a magician. Um, she picked up and moved from Kansas and lives in Vegas now,
Okay.
and she has taken her like she is having been on the show and has made her own way.
Okay.
So she has created her own career as a drag magician,
Okay.
and um, it's a lot of new. I really can't pick a third one, but it's a lot of newcomers that I just love. That are on fire. Like I don't know, like because I'm not really involved in in the newcomer arena within our black community. Them girls is bad. Like them girls, like in Florida and um over there in Louisiana.
Okay.
Them girls is something else. Like when is y'all gonna step over? That's what I be seeing.
Right.
So I commend all of the new girls that don't mind spending their money and have good sportsmanship when it comes to competing and really showing who they are. Now I just wanted to take it back because I do have to recognize Chevelle as one of my Mount Rushmore because she she would probably be the only one that learned the most from when it came to drag dance
Okay.
that I took from, and her tenacity and her vigilance of not being a RuPaul's Drag Race girl, but still manages to entertain and tour across the world on her own merit.
Okay.
And that's my big sister, and she has definitely set the example. Like even during the pandemic, that's when I believe our relationship got really, really close. And like she was making things work. Like she's a great example of a big sister
Right.
and how to run things and how to, make things move and shake if it's just you.
Sum your life up in one word, no definition, no explanation, just one word.
Blessed.
That's a good word. Okay. Um, legacy. What do you want to be known for when it's your time to go? Who do you want to be known for when it's your time to go?
Um, I want people to know that I want people to feel and know it beyond the shadow of a doubt that Kennedy was a real person. She was a real person. She gave her last if she had to. She was giving. She was loving. The character Ruben was was never fake, never didn't lie to you, kept it real, was family, all of those things because that's how I live. That's how I truly live. And when a person really get to know me, they'll know that I give from my heart. I don't expect anything in return. You come over here when I cook. You don't bring nothing. You don't have to bring nothing. Just bring an empty stomach. You need something from me. You don't have to steal from me. You just ask for it. I got it. It's yours. Whatever it is this stuff is material things. Everything on and all this stuff can be bought over again. My life is to be a testimony to somebody else, and that's how I live, to be an example and a testament to other people.
Okay. Do you promise to come back for part two?
We have to,
Okay, because
we have to, because
I
we
want to
have to,
talk about
we have to
ballroom.
hear
I want to
different
talk
stuff.
about
Okay.
I want to talk about the trials and tribulations of being a boy queen in relationship. I want to talk about Aja. I want to talk about Deja. Of course, we want to talk about universe. I want to talk about all of that. So promise me
Yeah.
you'll come back. But one last question.
Okay.
When you look back over everything that you did, been through, wanted to go through, everything you endured, is there a redo? Would you take something back or would you add something thus far?
No, I like the pace God is allowing,
Okay.
and I'm grateful to still be alive. I'm not, in truth be told, if 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 the devil had his way, I would have been dead before I was 21.
Right.
So I'm every mistake, every drug, everything, every fist I got to my face, rear view mirror to my head, all of that stuff. I don't take it back,
Okay.
and I don't regret. I am grateful for what God has allowed because I'm able to tell the story because it's somebody out there that's been through depression. It's somebody out there that didn't want to live. It's somebody out there that's still struggling and trying to find who they are and trying to find where their purpose is and how to navigate through life. But it takes us who are aware of what's going on in our surroundings to continue to lead by example to show them that you just have to keep living.
Yeah, that's a good word. You are preparing for
Yeah.
MBU, so clearly you are on the road and you're getting your coins. Where is where can we see you? Where can they come and support you?
Right now, I'm gearing up to go back to Las Vegas for the RuPaul's Drag Race live show. I'll be there. I'm scheduled to be there September the 5th through November the 4th, but I'm trying to stay.
Okay.
Um, I'm trying to stay longer, which will probably happen, but if it don't, I'll be coming back home. And I have nothing else lined up. My last like real booking was from November. I have Miss Gay USA in Wisconsin, the preliminary.
Hmm.
I'm performing there in Wisconsin, but you can always look me up on social media and see where I'm at. I'm always posting where I'm going to be, but for the most part, the biggest thing is to watch out for the Queen of Drag because it's about to be released soon.
Ooh.
And it's still in the works, and it's about to be released soon. And if you haven't watched Noah's Ark, make sure you catch that movie. I'm in the dance scenes as one of Alex's Lachance's dancers. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. And just really preparing my mind for competition and my heart for competition. because I'm not probably, but I plan on doing one more pageant before the big dance.
Okay. Okay. Well, any way that we can support you here, let us know. Again, you have to come back because I definitely want to talk about the Queen of Drag too. I'm gonna put that on the list. But other than that,
Yeah.
y'all, hit her up. Cash App, Zelle, whatever she has. She's on her way to competition. If you want to book her, y'all know how to get in touch with her. Don't take her money when she's on the stage. That's not fair. That lady work hard. Um, but uh, but
Okay.
Kennedy, listen. And girl, you might want to start. Girl, you don't want to stay on no plate because I done tasted your food and it's worth every dime.
I might have to, but the thing is, I'll be leaving from Vegas straight to MBU.
Okay.
So
I
because
got you.
I leave Labor Day. I go to my family reunion, come home a day, and then I'm going straight to Vegas.
Okay.
So
All
yeah,
right. Well,
but
we
next
good.
time I would definitely, I mean, definitely love to talk ballroom and stuff because I am what this is the first whole year that I am legend.
Okay. So yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
want to do that. But we will inbox you and get that date for you. But thank you again for these 2 hours. I appreciate it. You definitely dropped some jewels. I learned some new stuff about you, so I know other people that did. But anything that we can do for you as you prepare for the other pageant as well as Universe, please let us know, flyer, whatever, and we'll highlight it on our show. Thank you again for the hour and 58 minutes. And we appreciate you, the legend that you are. Keep inspiring, keep praying for us, and definitely keep cooking that food.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for having me. Thank you for wanting me to be on the show. And everybody that's watching, just know I love y'all and thank y'all for tuning in and listening to my testimony.
The
I
first
hope
half.
you
The
received
first half.
the first half because I'm ready anytime. But thank
Okay.
you guys for listening. I hope you were blessed.
All right. Thank you, Kennedy, and we'll see you all next week. Bye.